In this video, I'll show you how you can offer product samples in WooCommerce in just a few simple steps. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so to create our product samples in WooCommerce, we'll be using two different plugins, and I'll explain to you why we'll be using this plugin. So the first plugin we'll be using is the WooSuite Min Max Quantity Rules plugin. And the reason we'll be using this plugin is, so again, this is optional, but you might want to limit the amount of samples each customer can purchase, right? So you don't want anyone abusing the system. Okay, so this is why we'll be using this plugin. So when we create our samples category, we're going to limit the amount of samples a customer can purchase from within that category. Okay, so we're going to limit that to 4 quantities only. So a customer can only order 4 samples at a time. Okay, so this is why we'll be using our Min Max Quantity Rules plugin. If you don't need that functionality, that's fine, just leave it. But if you do need this functionality, just head over to WooSuite.com, go ahead and download the Min Max Quantity Rules plugin. I'll leave the link in the description below. Okay, so now the second plugin we're going to be using, so again, depending on your requirement, this is optional, is the WooSuite Restriction Rules plugin. And the reason we'll be using this plugin is we only want to show these samples to our wholesale customer. If you want to show it to everyone, then you don't need this plugin, okay? But if you want to restrict it to certain user group, then go ahead and download this Restriction Rules plugin. I'll leave it in the description below. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's head over to our dashboard and let's get started. Okay, so assuming you've downloaded the Min Max Rules plugin and the Restriction Rules plugin, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and upload the WooSuite core plugin, which you would have seen on the thank you page. So you just click plugins, add new, go ahead and upload and install that plugin. Once you've done so, it will walk you through the activation process. Okay, so with that out of the way, we're going to actually go ahead and create our product sample. Okay, so here I've got a perfume store, and let's say, for example, I wanted to create a sample of this particular perfume. So since we've already got the product here, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this one. And this duplicated product will be our sample product, okay? And it'll have its very own category as well. So again, the naming's optional, it's only up to you. But just to make it clear to customers that they're actually ordering a sample, so we can say a sample, and then we can make it clear that maybe this is just a 5 ml sample, for example, okay? So it's just the same as any other adding any other product to WooCommerce, is exactly the same. But the beauty of this method is, let's say, for example, you had a fabric store and you have, let's say, 200 different fabrics, right, per product. So in that situation, you just duplicate the product, set it as a sample product, and then a customer can order the individual sample that they want. Okay, so that's the beauty of using this method. Okay, so I've seen other plugins that they'll allow you to add the sample button on the actual product page of the product, but that's usually limited to single products only, so it usually gets stuck when it comes to variable product. We've got our product information here, our sample product information. We can create a dedicated category, as I mentioned, and then we can say sample. So again, this is up to you. It depends how you want to organize your samples, but I'm just going to create one which says samples, so it's very clear to customers that if they want samples of a particular product, head over to the samples category and they can choose it from there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and publish this product. So before we actually view the product, we forgot to actually set the sample price. So since this is a sample, we'll reduce it to, let's say, $5 or whatever the amount is in your case. You just set the price in accordingly. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit save changes, update, and now let's view the product. Okay, so this is our 5 ml sample. Okay, so now the next step is we want to actually limit the amount of samples that a customer can order. So to do this, I'm going to head back over to our dashboard. I'm going to navigate to products, and then I'm going to navigate to category, because I want to create a category specific rule for our samples product. Okay, so you'll only see these options if you've enabled the WooSuite Min Max Rules plugin. Okay, so when you've enabled that plugin, you'll see these options here. So quantity steps, the minimum, the maximum, and who it applies to. So for the maximum, we're going to say the maximum amount a customer can order is 4 within this category, right? So maybe they want to order multiple samples from a particular category, so you can set this accordingly. Okay, and then for the user role, we'll select, so again, this will vary. So if we were only creating this rule for wholesalers, then we'll select wholesale customer here. But for this example, I'm going to select admin. So this rule will apply to admin. And that's it. And the rule is the cart total as well. So it's not the line item, it's a cart total. So 4 items in total within this sample category a customer can order. So let's update and we can test this rule. Okay, so if we add more than 4 quantities to our cart, on the cart page, it will inform us that we need to reduce the number. Okay, so let's view the cart page. So I've just added 1, but we'll increase the quantity on this cart page here. So when we try to purchase more than 5 units, we get this message here letting us know that we need to reduce the number to 4 or below. Okay, so when we reduce it, we should be able to check out as normal. Okay, and we can check out fine. Okay, so that's the cart restriction. Okay, so now we'll add our restriction rules. Okay, so we'll navigate to our dashboard, and then from the add-on section, you'll just go ahead and activate the restriction rules plugin. Okay, so we just scroll down and we will go ahead and enable this restriction rules plugin here. Then we can click manage. If this doesn't load, if you refresh the page, you'll see restriction rules to the left here. Okay, so we're going to create a rule to basically hide all products. So we're going to hide our samples category from users logged out of our site. So I'm going to select the product category, and then we're going to go ahead and select samples here. So if a customer does have the direct link, we can redirect them to a different location on our site. Okay, so this is just on my particular use case. So you might not want to hide your product samples. So in that case, you just go ahead and skip this step. But if you did, this is how you do it. So we just hit save changes. Okay, so when we view the samples category, we can see all our sample products just fine. And now if we were to view it as a guest user, here you can see we're given a 404 error. So it's saying that the page doesn't actually exist. And if you didn't want to do a 404 error, as I mentioned earlier, we can just go ahead and redirect them to a different location, for example. Okay, so we'll just redirect them back to the home page. Okay, so that's saved fine. Okay, so let's try access our samples category again. And here you can see it's just redirected us to our home page. So this is one way how you can restrict the product samples to a particular user group only, and how you can actually limit the number of samples each customers can purchase. So again, if you don't need any of those features, that's absolutely fine. You basically just pick and choose, mix and match the different functionalities in which you need for your particular use case. But for us, we usually serve a lot of customers that service retail customers and wholesalers, and typically they'll usually reserve the product sampling for the wholesale customers. So this is why I've gone through how to limit the number of samples a customer can purchase, and also how to restrict the samples to a particular customer group as well. And that's how you create product samples in WooCommerce in just a few simple steps. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you've got any questions, leave in the comment box below, or reach out to support and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.